Here's our first shot of the night.
There it
Here's
is.
to the opportunity that these future greats have in front of them. So let's do a shot. Yeah, that was more like a double. All right. So speaking of Gunther, I want to talk to you about some of the stuff that's going on right now in the WWE, Raw, SmackDown. Gunther is the World Heavyweight Champion. Real quick, how do you think Gunther has done so far as World Champ?
I thought he's done a great job. I think he represents the title the way you envision a world champion to carry himself. I say this all the time. I think Gunther is my guy right now, the guy that I like to watch more so than anybody. And it's because he's a throwback to, I think he can work now, obviously. He could have worked 10 years ago. He could have worked 20 years ago. There's not a lot of wasted motion. There's not a lot of there's not a lot of pizzazz for, I think, what people expect today. But that's what's so unique about him.
The throwback feel.
The throwback feel. There's when he does something, he does it and gets the most out of that. He's the real deal in my opinion. I love watching him work.
A couple of weeks ago on Saturday night's main event, Jey Uso had a shot at Gunther. Gunther powerbombed him right in the middle of the ring, beat him clean. Yep. Jey Uso goes on last week to win the Royal Rumble, eliminating John Cena. First of all, winning the Rumble, a big deal.
Huge.
Remind me, and pardon me for my ignorance, have you ever won a Rumble?
Yes, I won one. Yep.
So you've been in a couple of them, you won one. It is a big deal to win a Royal Rumble.
It is huge, and everything that comes with winning the Rumble is, it led directly to one of my world championships.
So not only does Jey win it, but he eliminates Cena. It's almost like killing two birds with one stone. You can eliminate John Cena and win the Rumble. That's a pretty big deal. You got over, and you went over all in one moment.
Yep.
And now we see Jey challenging Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania. He could have chose Cody, or he could have chosen Gunther. He chose Gunther last night on Monday Night Raw. Do you think that was the right decision for Jey Uso?
Absolutely.
Why?
Well, so Jey is he's strapped to a rocket right now, right? I think he resonates with people in a way right now that not many do or ever have. So if he chooses Cody, then you split. You're going to have your Cody crybabies.
Dave LaGreca, the hell of the Cody crybabies.
A little throwback. And then you have, Jey's group, right? So why would you want to split that when you can have it all, right? So Gunther is a heel's heel.
Yep.
I mean, he's getting a little bit of, it just happens naturally. But why not have 80,000 people
eating all at the same time?
All at the same. Can you just? I mean, imagine that visual. I mean, it's going to be incredible, and that kind of energy. The energy levels are so different. The contrasts are so different. It's going to be amazing. I don't think he could have. I mean, that was the choice to make.
I know you don't love pulling back the curtain. I want to gently pull it back on you. Does Jey Uso have to win at WrestleMania?
I think they proved no with Cody. I mean, everybody thought Cody had to win. I know it's a different situation. I don't know. I don't know if that changes his trajectory or not. I think, he was on a great trajectory too when he worked with Roman, and that only elevated him again. Now, what do I think's going to happen? Yeah, I mean,
floor is yours.
Yeah, no, I think he probably goes over. I'm guessing.
Is there are you as interested if Jey Uso goes over and becomes World Heavyweight Champion? Are you as interested in seeing him retain as you are seeing him chase?
No.
So when does that issue come into play?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of TV time left to get there, but there's just certain people that you enjoy watching the chase. Sammy was one. You enjoy watching Sammy pursue the Intercontinental title when Gunther had it, right? As champion, and then it's like, okay, well you've conquered. Now what, right? Now I want to see what's next.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I don't. It's hard to say. There's so much that's still going to happen, and twists and turns to this whole story. But man, Jey chasing with the momentum that he has right now.
To me, you got to catch that lightning in a bottle, because I don't know if Jey has the same story that Cody had. Like, Cody had the legs in his story to keep going, and I think Cody needed to keep going. Jey's one of those situations where the people are so into him right now. I almost feel like they need to give the people
a payoff there.
That payoff. That's just my opinion.
No, that makes perfect sense. Actually, it does. It makes it 100% makes sense, because you don't want to do anything. You don't want anything to take him off of that trajectory.
Yep.
I mean, the roster. I mean, the roster is so deep right now. And the more people that you have in a player's role, man, it's so. And
it's not easy to do what Jey has been able to do and what they have been able to do with Jey. Because if you think of it, as successful as the Dudleys, the Hardys were in the WWE is still not a tag team territory.
Right.
Only when Vince stepped in tag team shit and smelled money did he run with traditional tag teams.
Right.
So not many guys get to step out of those teams and have a real opportunity. Shawn, Brett, JBL.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Not that jumps out, no.
Not at the top of the card. Maybe somebody came out for a little while, but Jey has an opportunity to do something special. I'm just not sure if he has enough behind him to be a Shawn, to be a Brett, to be a JBL.
Yeah. Oh, well, only time will tell. Right.
True.
There.
Talking about Cody. Who's on my TV right now? I see you pointing at something.
It's Ricky Starks, isn't it?
Wow. Look at the eyes on the dead man. Ricky Starks is live on NXT right at this very moment. One shot went to my head already. He's like pointing at the TV. I'm like, who is it? Who is it? Yep, there he is, Ricky Starks. We'll definitely be talking about this on Busted Open tomorrow morning. Keeping with the current product, Cody Rhodes.
Yep.
If you had to give him a grade right now, A, B, C, D, what would you say?
You'd have to give him, you figure in everything that he's doing, everything he's done. You'd have to give him an A, I would say. I mean, he is doing every interview. He's doing every TV. He is the face, and he takes that role very seriously. So with all of those criteria involved, you have to give him an A. I mean, that's he is in that he's in that Cena role. Right.
Very interesting, because that leads me to my next question. That's Cena role. Cena at the Royal Rumble press conference, he admitted, "Hey, I didn't get the job done at the Rumble, but I'm going into the Elimination Chamber." Now, I don't know how I feel about John just putting himself in the chamber and not earning a spot in the chamber, but if anybody can get in without having to win a match, it is John. I get it. So we got John in the match. We got Punk in the match. And I know the chamber is going to fill out with some other heavy hitters, Drew, Seth, whoever else. To me, it's a two-horse race. I could be wrong, but I'm looking at it as Cena and Punk.
Yeah.
Give me your fan point of view. Give me your professional point of view. Who is the better opponent for Cody at WrestleMania?
Wow. So first, now this goes back to the call at the Rumble, and what made Jey make so much sense too. Not only is he on this incredible trajectory right now, but two, what storytelling, right? Because John goes to the press conference. He doesn't field questions. He makes a statement. What's best for business? What's best for business is me not to just ride along on this farewell tour. What's best for business is for me to win the world title. Oh, that's un-John-like, right? Over the last couple of years. That's making a statement. Two, the guy that everybody thinks is going to go over at the Rumble doesn't get it done, means he's got to win the Rumble. So now just the stories that get created out of the Rumble. You're right. It's a two in my opinion, it's a two-guy race. Man.
Would you say best for business? Whenever I talk about business with the WWE, the playing field is the world.
Right.
We never look at it with like a horse with blinders. It's not just about the United States. The scope of the playing field is the entire world.
Yeah.
From a business point, as hot as Punk is right now, as much as that emotional investment he has in the has with the fans, is John a better business decision for Cody?
I don't know. I don't know that I think there's potential for more edge with Punk and Cody, and other than more so than a traditional babyface, you know, because they're pretty much both yucky baby faces, right?
Yucky baby. Oh, I'm so stealing that up until Mania. Yucky baby faces,
right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're the baby faces, babyface.
Yeah, they're
right?
white meat baby faces.
Where Punk is not afraid to get out there on the fringe and push some envelopes.
Mm-hmm.
I look at it like this. So he's made his call, right? This is the last run. I mean, he's got all year to do something. Now, you know, obviously Mania is such a huge part of our deal. I'm thinking business-wise, I think Punk may be the call. Full-time.
Okay.
Full-time.
Yep. See, that's what one of the discussions we had today was about Brock and your streak, and we were talking about that today, whether or not is it the right call for Cena to break Flair's record? Was it the right call to have Brock break the streak? And I said the only problem I had, because I liked Brock breaking the streak, that's my own, just my personal opinion. I would have liked it if he would have stuck around full time.
Right.
It was the part-time role that kind of bugged me just a little bit.
Right.
Like, if you're going to be the one who puts the 1 in 21 in 1, you better stick around to talk about it every single week, and whoever's eventually going to take you down is going to truly mean something.
Yeah.
So if John is the guy, do you want to see John break Flair's record? Is that a record you would want to see broken?
Man,
you picked Ric Flair to work with him at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
There's something special about Ric to you.
There is. When I think of world champion, you think of Ric Flair. I don't care what territory you're in. When I think of Hogan, I think of that era that he created and the rock and wrestling and all that. Stone Cold, yes, he was a champion all those years, but you think of the Attitude Era and all of that. You just it doesn't seem like it's that as important to their characters or their runs being the champion as it does. When you think Ric Flair, you think the champ. That's what everybody calls him, right? Mm-hmm. Hey, champ, what's up, right? It's so synonymous with him. So, you know, I've honestly been on the fence. Like, I didn't have a problem. You know, I don't know that I'll have a problem if John wins and breaks the record. John, because, you know, I look at things from not only a business aspect. I mean, I think of the way that he did everything. I mean, he was the face of the company. He didn't take a day off. He did, you know, all the extra media. He did all the Make-A-Wishes, all that stuff. So there's certain times you just feel like, you know what, throw the guy a bone, right? If that's the case, that's probably not the most wrestling purist view. I mean, that's kind of a sentimental, I think, view on my part.
It almost sounds like you're saying he deserves it.
And
I hate the word deserve in wrestling.
That's probably deserve is.
But if you're going to let anybody use the word deserve, it sounds like it's him. I mean, the guy has granted more wishes to people on the planet than anybody, and it's not even close.
It's not even close.
I mean, that says a lot about the WWE and John Cena. When you think that more people who, don't have a lot of time left on the planet want to meet John Cena more than anybody else. Not, Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, the President of the United States, any actor. No, John Cena.
Yeah. And there's an aspect of this that no one ever really talks about. And will Cena accept that?
Will he accept what?
Does he really want that belt?
At the press conference, it sounded like he did.
Okay, that's business.
Okay.
I'm talking about the human being.
Okay.
I don't know that John. It's in something inside of. I want to be the 17-time world champion. I don't know that.
Do you think the WWE wants him to be the 17-time world champion?
I think they want to make things not right, but I think they want to give him all the flowers that he deserves. And I will tell you this about John. I had the quick little WrestleMania match with him the year or so after Rome, whenever it was. And I'm at home. They talked me into it, right? And I train like an animal. Like I'm ready for a 45-minute war. I am just like I'm in the best shape that I was in for years and years. And I get to the stadium that day, and Vince says, "Yeah, this is going to be quick. This is like 5 minutes. You're just going to go
playing the hits,
roll through play the hits." And I'm like, no. We're gonna. This is John Cena and the Undertaker. No, we're going to tear the house down. No, that's not what we need. I'm getting hot. Like, no, you guys talked me in to coming back and doing this. I'm going 30 or I'm not going out.
Wow.
And I said, then I finally made the mistake of, what's John think? So Vince sent somebody to get John. John comes in the room. John, what do you want to do tonight? Blow through the hits, 5 minutes. He pins me. I'm like, what the
You can say it.
I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm being like, there's one side of me I get because he had badmouthed me and he had talked about me in a way that no one really had it to that point. And I'm just like, then wait, no, you want to do 30 and we would tear this thing down. He goes, no, man, I talked way too much trash about the Undertaker. No, 5 minutes, boom, drop me on my head, we're done. I'm like, son of a bitch.
In retrospect, was that the right decision?
It was totally the right call. It was 100% the right call. That what pissed me off too. Is like that was me trying to, at that point in my career, stoke my ego and say, hey, I can still go burn it up and tear it down and do everything else. And
you see, that's huge, though, to be able to admit, because we're all egomaniacs to a certain degree in this business. Me being one of the biggest ones you'll ever come across. You guys should see the look that he just gave me.
What are you talking about?
But to be able to admit that we were stroking our own ego at that time, because you had trained so hard, you're like, oh no, I'm going a half an hour at the very least with John Cena, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to tear it up, and I'm not going to blow up, and then you realized it's not what we really needed.
Yeah. And it didn't help that the old man was
laughing at
laughing. When John came in and said, no, 5 minutes, you dropped me on my head, we're done. And, me looking at Vince like, why? Why didn't you just tell me that was the plan? I wouldn't have had to try. Because when I tell you I trained hard, this is late in my career. Like, man, I trained like a freaking animal. Like,
and
it
doesn't get any easier to train.
No, it gets harder. And I was so intolerable to my family, everybody, because I was like, dude, if this is what I'm hanging my 6-shooters on,
right,
I'm going out blazing. And man, I was dialed in. And
5 minutes.
5 minutes, man. I barely broke a sweat.
But the people loved it. Speaking of quote unquote the old man, obviously we're talking about Vince. You were at the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Okay. I saw a picture of you at the Super Bowl.
Right.
I saw a picture of Vince at the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Were you at the Super Bowl with Vince?
I was his guest. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm gonna get hate for that. Listen, there's only, I don't know. People think, oh, you guys are so close, you know everything. I don't know what has been done, what hasn't been done. We don't talk about those things, right? But he is a friend of mine.
Of course.
First off, he gave me an opportunity to make something of my life and become something. That is one thing. But through the course of all those years, we became very close friends. The one person, I looked at him, after my father passed away. He was a father figure. He was a brother. He was a mentor. He always treated my family with the utmost respect. So I don't know everything that's happened, what's gone on. And I'm not the judge, right? On this case, I'm not the judge. There's only one judge. Mm. That's the man upstairs.
Yep.
He's going to give us all whatever we deserve at the end, and that's what it is. I think people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones, and I think if you really look at your life and people who get off their high horse and their righteousness on social media and everything else, I don't have to agree. I don't have to agree with everything that people do, but it doesn't change the fact that I love somebody.
Sure.
And I'm friends with somebody. Doesn't mean I'm going to do the same things or even, but that's the way it is. Anyway, he invited me.
You went to the Super Bowl with your friend.
Yeah, I went to the Super Bowl with my friend. He created this incredible experience for me and about, 10 or 11 other people. Mm-hmm. And it was, the game was the shits, but the experience was amazing. And this is the first time that I've seen Vince since I was in Saudi Arabia the last time with him, and he was really looking rough and bad right after back surgery. So he looked much better, was healthier, and looked like he was kind of more like the old Vince, and that was good for me to see. And the rest of it, I don't, you don't have to like me. I don't give a shit. I've got a small inner circle that I give a shit what people think, and I don't conform. If you're my friend, you're my friend. And
I think something that comes with friendship, and I'm going to go down a road right here very briefly that you're probably not expecting, but when you married Michelle, mm-hmm. she brought you closer to God.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So as a Christian, mm-hmm. we know that there is no greater strength than forgiveness.
No, yeah, you have to be able to forgive, man.
So, so let's do another shot to forgiveness, just in general. There you go. All right.
That's the most roundabout way I've ever heard anybody get to drinking a shot.
Yep, we talked a little bit about Jesus, and we did a shot of Jack.
Yeah, there you go.
The boss decided to tell me a Ricky Starks story because earlier on we have NXT playing in the background here. Taker saw Ricky Starks in the audience. He was pointed to him. I couldn't see him, and then I realized, and we both popped huge to see Ricky. And boss, you were telling me that in 2015 when you were training.
Yep. For
your Mania match with Shane, you came across Ricky Starks, or Ricky Starks came across you. Please tell us the story.
Yeah, so I'm training at this gym. I've hired a trainer. I'm really wanting to, show up and show out because it's going to be at Texas Stadium or AT&T Stadium, my home state.
And it's with Shane, who is going to be all geeked up.
You think? You think? Holy hell. Yeah, believe me, I spent enough time this weekend talking about that match and him trying to talk me into one more.
I can only imagine.
Oh, my gosh.
I can only imagine.
And he had his 3 kids backing him up on it. Anyway, so, so I'm training every day, and I noticed this kid is there every day, doesn't say anything, really, respectful. As the training went along and we needed, different spotters and different help, but he was always like right there. Finally, we struck up a conversation, and he told me that he was trying to break in the business, and I tried, I'd set him kind of talk to him about different things, and he actually on one of the Rumbles that Michelle was a surprise guest in, she wanted to get in the ring, and he came down and trained with her. And I've seen him a few times here and there, and I've always had great conversations with him. He's such a good kid, such a respectful kid. So that caught me completely off guard. I hadn't seen him in probably a year and a half maybe, and then I just looked up and saw him there. But that's how we met. We met in a gym while I was getting ready for Shane at WrestleMania.
So tonight is a hell of a night for Ricky Starks. Not only did he debut on NXT, but he has you putting him over on the #1 pro wrestling talk show on the planet.
Brother, sometimes you just roll those dice and they came up the right way, man.
You mentioned Respectful at the top of the show. We talked about LFG, which debuts this Sunday night on A&E, 90-minute episodes at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We spoke about the disrespect of one of the students right off the bat. How important, I know you're old school, and I know the answer to the question already because I feel the same way, but for our fans listening, how important is it in our industry to show the proper respect?
It's so important. And again, a lot of times people and these kids and these fans in this era, they don't understand it, and they think, oh, it's just bullying, or it's this and it's that. It's not. I'm not asking anybody to do anything. It's the matter of respect is for the people that come before you, that came before me, paving the way and making our way easier. That's what the respect is all about. Because there's been so many dips in the road that if there wasn't guys out there that poured their heart and their soul and believed in this thing that we call professional wrestling, this all wouldn't be going on right now. Because there have been some incredible hardships and incredible trials for the wrestling industry, and to overcome those and to come out to where we are today, where wrestling is this global juggernaut. That's why guys pay respect, because you have to appreciate. It's like the first 2 years I was in the business, I don't think I said a word unless I was talked to. And
Amen.
People look, and people today look at that like, oh, why would you not? Because that's just the way it was. It's just the way you was. You sit down, you shut up, and you listen. And you listen and you learn so much more when you keep your mouth shut and your ears open.
Should I have kept my mouth shut more? Serious question. Because I wanted to ask you about me, but I was going to get it later in the show. Should I have kept my mouth shut more?
No, I don't know that you needed to keep your mouth shut more, because you're a man of conviction. You believe in what you believe. And you are willing to die on a hill.
Every hill.
Every hill. We've established that. But you were established to a certain, to a large degree by the time you got to WWF then, WWE now. You were known. You were known in the business. So it wasn't such a matter of I should keep my mouth shut. Bedside manner. Yeah, maybe you could have worked on your bedside manner.
Yep.
And you would have, sometimes you get more with sugar than you do with vinegar.
I never learned that lesson in the business.
So, again, that's something that I learned, and pretty much in all those territories. But when I got here, especially when the boss of bosses sitting in the dressing room, when you look over there and you see Andre. And Andre throws people out of the dressing room because he doesn't like them, you learn real quick.
Andre didn't like Sean and Marty, did he?
Oh, he hated them. Dude, and so he So Andre obviously was on his last legs when I got here. I didn't ever get a chance to work with him. That story's been told a million times. But if the boss didn't like you, you stayed clear, because he would, boss could be alone when he wanted to be.